This is the gateway to Vindication.
Statlander, I'm not finished with you. I need to know one-on-one.
Samoa Joe, you and I for the World Championship.
You have never been greater than me. The gateway to an ultimate end.
The first time in your life you are gonna say, I quit.
AEW WrestleDream. This is the gateway to Vindication.
Statlander, I'm not finished with you. I need to know one-on-one.
Samoa Joe, you and I for the World Championship.
You have never been greater than me. The gateway to an ultimate end.
The first time in your life you are gonna say, I quit.
AEW WrestleDream. This is the gateway to Vindication.
Statlander, I'm not finished with you. I need to know one-on-one.
Samoa Joe, you and I for the World Championship.
You have never been greater than me. The gateway to an ultimate end.
The first time in your life you are gonna say, I quit.
AEW WrestleDream. This is the gateway to Vindication.
Statlander, I'm not finished with you. I need to know one-on-one.
Samoa Joe, you and I for the World Championship.
You have never been greater than me. The gateway to an ultimate end.
The first time in your life you are gonna say, I quit.
AEW WrestleDream. This is the gateway to Vindication.
Statlander, I'm not finished with you. I need to know one-on-one.
Samoa Joe, you and I for the World Championship.
You have never been greater than me. The gateway to an ultimate end.
The first time in your life you are gonna say, I quit.
AEW WrestleDream. This is the gateway to Vindication.
Statlander, I'm not finished with you. I need to know one-on-one.
Samoa never been greater than me.
The gateway to an ultimate end.
The first time in your life, you are gonna say, I quit.
AEW WrestleDream.
This is personal with that man, the new convert, the convert, if you will, Daniel Garcia. See him wearing that hoodie, looking like a teenager mad at his parents. There's a lot of anger in the Death Riders, no question, Tony. We heard from Garcia. He said that now I'm with losers. Excuse me, now I'm with winners, not like losers like you, Daddy Magic, or a parasite, as he referred to me. Believe that?
Your opening contest is an
would say to you, Danny boy, be careful who you trust. Salt looks just the same as sugar.
There you see the I Quit match coming up. It is live, of course, on pay-per-view on HBO Max, beginning at the top of the hour. That's 8 o'clock, 7 Central, 5 Pacific coming up tonight. And I go back to what Darby Allin had said when these two guys were sequestered in this prison.
Watch these men tear each other apart. They're entering this I Quit match. But to be completely honest, this is a match that I don't want to watch. I watched what they did in the coffin match. I saw my husband nursing third-degree burns on his legs from being lit on fire by Darby Allin. I need to remind people that, yes, my husband may be doing what he thinks is the right thing to do for AEW right now, but at the end of the day, he is still my husband. He is still the father of my child. My concern at this point is he going to be able to continue to play with our daughter? When does he quit? And to be across the ring from somebody like Darby Allin that I know is going to push him to limits that John does not need to be pushed to. I don't know how to talk about this match. I don't know how to watch this match. My frustrations with what John is doing at this point in his career, I'm done with it. I'm so incredibly frustrated watching this happen.
I mean, you think of what we have already seen.
Like, I can't talk sense into John's head. To be married to somebody like John and to try to understand what his mind is like going through a match like that, I can't get in front of him and say, hey, don't do that. Don't go to the ring and don't do this crazy stuff. You think he's going to listen to me? John is a man that does what he wants to do. And the fact that Darby is now goading him into doing other crap that is going to affect my life moving forward, it's going to affect my daughter's life moving forward. I'm sick and tired of watching this crap happen. And I'm glad that everybody else seems to be enjoying watching this.
Renee, your husband's a champion. He's a warrior. And there is a price to pay for every battle that he goes through. We're going to find out. You're frustrated, but I know one thing. The people here in St. Louis tonight, at one time, St. Louis was the wrestling capital of the world. A lot of things have gone down in this city. The Old Kill Auditorium, I could go on and on. But I don't think they will have ever witnessed the brutality that they're going to see tonight. Moxley, Darby Allin, I quit.
I don't think I have any words to console or comfort anyone right now. I tried to do some snooping around today. You think about what we've seen: flamethrowers, Molotov cocktails, body bags, coffins, but an I Quit match is much different. It's a much more psychological kind of warfare. It's about torturing that other person to say words that they've never said before. I don't understand how they're going to do it, what their strategies are offensively, what their strategies are defensively. Obviously, Darby's, been living his life on the extreme, thinking that that's going to carry him through tonight, but I know that Mox has an absolutely horrific plan in place.
Do you think that either one of these men has a better or more clear version of what the future of this company should be?
That is a great question, Renee, because they both have a very strong will. I'm going to go candidly with your husband, Jon Moxley. He is the winningest wrestler in AEW history. He does nothing but win. He may see things a little off kilter from time to time, but at the end of the day, he does want what's best for AEW. I'm just sure that's not the best for Darby Allin tonight.
I would like to apologize for my frustrations bubbling up to the surface. It's very difficult to try to wear one hat when my emotions are obviously attached in a different situation. So my apologies. We will move forward. That match, the I Quit match, coming up tonight on Wrestle Dream. Okay. How do we watch a pay-per-view tonight?
It's a good question. If you're in the United States, Wrestle Dream can be watched on HBO Max, Prime Video, YouTube, ppv.com, and in demand through traditional cable and satellite providers.
Yes, if you guys happen to be watching internationally, it's available on YouTube, ppv.com, and of course on Prime. We are here breaking down all of the action that is coming up in just under 50 minutes live on pay-per-view. But let's talk about these ladies. Toni Storm taking on Kris Statlander, who will be leaving St. Louis with that coveted title around their waist. We find out tonight.
Kris Statlander turns the corner.
Oh,
the seatbelt. 1, 2, 3! Oh!
It just happened so fast. It was just so sudden.
All come to an end.
Toni Storm is done.
Without the title, who the bloody hell am I? Kris Statlander. I'm not finished with you. I need to know 1-on-1. There is nothing more personal to me.
Do you want the answers you're looking for? Let's do this. Wrestle Dream.
It's you against me.
You will find out why I am the galaxy's greatest. Professional wrestling is a lie that reveals the truth, and we've told some ridiculous lies. You know the truth. You just have to accept it.
No flukes, nobody in between us. There's no one I'd rather lose to, but there's no one I would rather beat.
As much as I like you, I will happily knock your ass back into black and white.
What awaits for you is gone.
My God! What a woman!
Here to help us break down some of the action here happening tonight with the ladies in the women's division, we've got Madison Rain. Hello.
Hello, everyone. Renee,
Hello.
you look gorgeous.
Right back
Jeff
at
looking
you.
wonderful. Hey, RJ.
I thought that we had a
You look
deal that you
handsome.
were going to shimmy onto the set, and we didn't get the shimmy. So if you could shimmy us,
It's a little egregious.
that would be great. It's not egregious.
Pulling
It's what we
focus.
get. Okay, Kris Statlander putting her AEW Women's Championship on the line against Toni Storm. You know, Toni said something really interesting when I did the sit down with them on Dynamite this past week about how we just pictured that championship around her waist. It is around Kris Statlander's waist now. What was the reaction of the women's locker room when this happened for Statlander?
I think there was
All
a
Out?
level of shock, right? Because to Toni's point, that has just become our normal. Toni Storm is our AEW Women's World Champion. But listen, Kris Statlander came in, she shook up the normal, and I think it kind of let the entire locker room know this is possible. But Toni Storm's got something to say about that. I really think she does.
Well, I want you to talk to me about the growth of Kris Statlander. I know you've been able to see the many different versions of Kris Statlander. We know she's had to come back twice from really awful injuries, the starts and stops of her career to where she's at now.
And Chris Statlander moves as though not only has she never had an injury, but that she's in the prime of her career. She's gone through things that would have sidelined most athletes, possibly forever, ending their careers. And not only has she come back from those, she's come back better, stronger, more confident in who Chris Statlander is. And it paid off for her. She's our women's world champion.
Well, let's talk Toni Storm here because this woman is a lunatic. She's been a lunatic for some time, and now we are seeing more of an unraveling of this woman without that gold around her waist. Does she have the wherewithal to pull it together?
Well, there's no reason to stop being a lunatic when it's been so successful.
Fair enough.
She's held the AEW Women's World Championship longer than any AEW wrestler has held an AEW title, period. Her last singles loss was all in 2024, to put that into perspective. But I think she got very complacent with the title. She wanted to keep taking bigger risks. She took that four-way at All Out, and I don't think she was anticipating how she was going to feel once she lost to Statlander.
Well,
she seems a little more unstable right now. I don't think she knows herself what she is going to do if she loses tonight.
And what we all have been anticipating now is the buildup to this one-on-one match between Statlander and Toni Storm. There's been so much build to seeing these two women alone in the ring together. We got a little taste of it last week, but Jeff, the mutual respect that we're kind of seeing between these two.
You know, when I sat down with our shout out Alex Marvez, the
What
AEW
up, Marvez? That's our
Not
guy.
necessary.
Love
and
Marvez.
went through the stats, one number that just jumped off the page at me, and that is Stat is the winningest wrestler, 110 women's, 110 wins. She's been on the shelf 600 days since 2019.
Crazy.
So she's done nothing but win. Toni going to be the first 5-time champion. So one-on-one, I think it's a pick 'em. If you're in Vegas, I have no idea who to go with that.
Well, that match is coming up tonight. One of those women, Toni Storm, Chris Statlander, will be leaving St. Louis with that AEW Women's World Championship. Somebody that just left Mexico with that CMLL Women's Championship. She defended her title against Persephone Mercedes Mone, held onto that gold, and just tied Ultimo Dragon for his belt record at 10 championships. What is that significance to you, Madison?
We are speaking so far out of any depth that I experienced in my wrestling career. I can't even make a prediction on this because Mercedes Moné literally just defended a championship less than 24 hours ago. My questions are, is she rested? Did she sleep on the plane? Did she have breakfast? Is she at peak performance level tonight to just issue an open challenge to anybody?
I've been able to watch Mercedes through years and years of her career, seeing a different grind to where she's at now. She is a fighting champion with any one of those 10 championships. She likes to do the work. I think she feeds off doing that work. I don't think she's somebody that gets burnt out by having match after match. I mean, I know, Jeff, maybe you can talk a little more on the physical side of what that means versus when you're just in a sweet spot.
I just think she's in a groove. I mean, 10 belts, 8 countries, win after win after win after win. But you know what? We're in a sports town. St. Louis, I think 14 world championships in their 4 sports through the years. But this is the kind of night where upsets can happen. Mercedes, you better have your A game no matter who you face tonight.
And who is it going to be? Mercedes has issued an open challenge to any champion to step up tonight. What are you expecting?
As great as the success is, as great as the ultimate record is, Mercedes has bitten off more than she can chew in the past. She had the big match with All In and Toni Storm. She was doing indie shows the weeks leading up to it.
Yeah.
I don't know how much gas she has left in the tank. She's in Mexico. Now she's in St. Louis. Tomorrow she's wrestling in Canada.
RJ, who's a surprise tonight? You know.
Velvet McIntyre.
It is all happening here tonight as we go from Chris Statlander and Toni Storm, Mercedes Moné. It is safe to say that the women's division here in AEW is cooking. These ladies are on fire, and one woman that has made such an impact since her debut, Thekla. Tonight she goes up against a former women's champion, one of the hardest hitting women here in AEW, Jamie Hayter. Have you had time to think about what's next for you yet?
Well, Renee, that is the question.
The lights are out. Oh! Thekla! The toxic spider!
I've been around the world, and I'm not impressed. Wrong place at the wrong time, and now you are again.
Jamie Hayter is back in explosive fashion.
You want to go? Let's bloody go, because you'll soon find out, sweetheart.
Blood and guts!
The unfinished business is my favorite kind.
Are we dreaming?
Line them up.
I will dissect and destroy you until everyone in AEW is toxic.
Jamie Hayter.
Thekla. 1-on-1.
Tell you what I love, bringing on some ladies to bring a little insight. Queen Aminata looking very juicy. Am I allowed to say that?
Yes, you are.
Nice. Nice.
Do you follow this woman on social media? She's very sassy.
Sassy.
We like it.
Queens are sassy.
They
I know
are.
a queen myself.
Before we get into this match, and of course we have ample things to talk about here, this dress is incredible. Did you make this?
Well, I didn't make this, but this was made in Guinea, West Africa. And Renee, actually, it took me 3 years to be able to wear this dress. So
you look fantastic.
This is
Thank
off the
you for
rack.
coming
I just
out
got
here
this
with
off the
us. Okay, let's talk a little Thekla, Jamie Hayter here. We heard Thekla last week, or sorry, just on Wednesday on Dynamite, talking about how Jamie just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. She got her in the crosshairs, and that was how this match essentially came to fruition. What is your take on Thekla since she's arrived here? I mean, you two have gone at it.
This is not going to be a surprise. You guys know I cannot stand that woman.
Yeah.
I cannot at all. Like every single time I see her, either in the locker room or backstage, my skin itches because her itchy, bitchy, raggedy.
Poison. Toxic spider. Yeah.
I need to calm down. I just don't like her.
I don't know that I've seen someone get under your skin the way that Thekla has.
I know, right? And
Yeah.
I always try to stay Queenie, but for some reason, I think I need to send her back to Japan.
Well, you cannot do it tonight because during Thekla versus Jamie Hayter, everybody has been banned from ringside, including Sky Blue, including Julia Hart, including you. You guys have really been beating the shit out of each other. Any chance you can
allowed to
get?
say that out here?
We're gonna find out. When is that gonna end?
You know what, though? I'm so happy every single person is banned from ringside. And if I can suggest after the match, they should be banned from AEW, period. They're just not listening. So that's just me.
How about that?
Let's talk Jamie Hayter here, because we've seen the rise of Jamie Hayter. We've seen her have to sit on the sidelines with injury, trying to find her footing amongst a women's division that we've been talking about how on fire the entire women's division has been. Where do you think Jamie stands right now in terms of, I guess, essentially getting back to her pursuit of the women's championship?
I think this is the best Jamie has ever looked. And I have to be honest, I've never, ever shared the ring with anybody who hits harder than Jamie Hayter. So I'm not worried about her, honestly. And thank you, she's back.
Yeah,
you know, I'm excited.
I'm a huge Jamie Hayter fan. I feel like she is such a star, and we've only seen the tip of the iceberg of what all we can get with Jamie Hayter. RJ, I want you to talk to me a little bit about sort of that start and stop of being, having injury, being out, having to relinquish the women's championship when she did, to getting back in the ring and feeling like yourself.
We have seen tremendously talented athletes that have not gotten out of the starting blocks because you have to string a bunch of hits together. This is the elite of the elite.
Yes.
And sometimes it doesn't happen. There's big setbacks. We saw Chris Statlander out for 600 days with both legs, and then she put it together. So it's certainly not too late for Jamie Hayter, but she's absolutely rolling the dice against Thekla. Are they here now? Is the triangle here? Okay, we're back. We're fine. Thank you.
Speaking of unpredictability, like these lights, Jeff, Thekla, since she has showed up here in AEW, I feel like a lot of the women have had their heads on swivels. But when you have somebody like her that you don't know where she's coming from, you don't know what to expect from her, how can you prepare for a match like that?
Well, it sounds and it seems to me that, her reputation confrontation. How she left Stardom was not on a high note.
Yeah.
Suspensions and fines, and I think that's how she entered AEW. But for me, when I look at this matchup tonight, it all boils back down to I look at what are the stakes, and I think the stakes for both of these ladies are they want to get back to championship form. Thekla wants to get there in AEW. Jamie, 15-month run. She wants to get the AEW title. The stakes are who can be number one contender.
Queen Aminata, you are going to be banned from ringside tonight, so you will have to find somewhere to sit and watch this match. Who do you think is going to win?
Well, are you surprised? It's going to be Jamie Hayter.
Okay.
Definitely. Robert John?
All right. I might have to say Thekla. I might have to say Thekla. I didn't want to, incur any rancor.
I think you should be banned too.
Well, here we go.
He is. Everyone's banned. RJ's banned. Jeff's banned. I'm probably banned. Everyone's banned. So that match is coming up tonight live on Wrestle Dream. Thekla versus Jamie Hayter. A little reminder to everybody of how we can watch this pay-per-view just over 35 minutes away.
That's a great question.
Tell us, RJ, once again.
You can watch Wrestle Dream on HBO Max, Prime Video, YouTube, ppv.com, and in-demand through traditional cable and satellite providers.
And if you are watching internationally on youtube.com, ppv.com, and of course on Prime, you guys can scan that QR code that is on the screen right now to be able to join, watch a pay-per-view. You don't want to miss any of this. One of my new favorite tag teams in Bandido, who are the tag team champions. These guys are in a weird situation. They've got to put their championship gold on the line against the unlikely duo of Takeshita and Kazuchika Okada.
The meteoric ascent of Bandido and Brody King continues.
Young Bucks, Jet Speed, FTR, Don Callis family. It doesn't matter who steps in that ring. We prove that we are willing to put everything on the line to keep these titles.
Bandido, you escaped. Well, I'm going to throw out a challenge. The Great Okada and the Alpha Konosuke Takeshita.
Hey, Don. Me and him?
Yeah.
Look.
You and me.
You see Bandido with that shoulder taped up thanks to Hechicero.
Oh, he's going for the 21-plex, it looks like.
Can't do it. Okada just tagged himself in. The Rainmaker. What great teamwork.
You are the one that says to never stop fighting. That's what we're going to do. We're never going to stop fighting.
Takeshita and Okada have earned a shot at the AEW World Tag Team Championship. You saw Takeshita, he's pissed.
What?
I pressed the wrong button.
It doesn't matter if they have two incredible professional wrestlers on their team. We are going to leave Wrestle Dream still AEW Tag Team Champions. Boom!
Lance Archer is in the house, noted Don Callis family member.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you? You want to shake my hand? You choke slam me right now. It'd be fun.
Thank you.
Lance, thank you for coming out here and joining us. The ever-growing Don Cal. I like that our camera angles have adjusted. I can see the cameraman has had to pan way up to be able to fit you into the frame. Why is being a part of the Don Callis family so beneficial?
For me personally, it's just helped elevate me in status because I show up week after week after week after week, and you see what it's doing for Kyle Fletcher and Takeshita, the Walking West, and then it's Josh, the growing members of the Don Callis family. So everybody that comes into the Don Callis family just goes up.
Much like our guy Takeshita, he is now the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. He just defeated Zack Sabre Jr. to earn that coveted gold from New Japan. Talk to me a little bit about the up-close relationship between Okada and Takeshita. What have you seen between these guys?
The up-close relationship between those two.
Please.
I don't know if you want to call it.
Thereof.
I don't know if you want to call it up close. There's a little bit of a tension there if you want to look at it that way, because Okada essentially was the New Japan golden boy. He was the one that kind of helped elevate them. Tanahashi was somebody who changed New Japan's business. Okada took it to that next level. Takeshita has won the G1. He's now the IWGP heavyweight champion. He's always kind of been considered an outsider. So there's a little bit of tension between those two guys. But because we're in the same family never fights. They're just going to fight together, and they're going to become tag team champions.
Okay, we will see what happens with that. But let's flip the coin here and talk about the current champions in Bandido. Sort of this, I would say, an unlikely duo. I know these guys have been friends for a long time, but these guys are gelling so incredibly well right now. Are they going to have enough to to get one over on. I mean, you look at Takeshita and Okada as singles competitors. They're two of the best. Can these guys work to get it done?
Well, all their success has been in pulling out wins that nobody thought were possible, whether it was the Bucks, whether it was the Hurt Syndicate, whether it was FTR. And I will say, Takeshita and Okada are a super group, but it's weird to say Bandido is now the team with the most experience.
I would just like to run things back here for 1 second to remind people how we got here, because we had that double Jeopardy eliminator match where if Bandido got pinned, that they had to put their titles on the line, or vice versa. So Bandido, was really beating himself up after this, feeling like he was the one that cost them this match, put them in this situation to now have their gold on the line. Do you think that he's going to be in the right mindset coming into this?
It has to be. But, when I look at Bandido, in some circles, he may be the wrestler of the year in 2025.
He's incredible.
And you add Big Brody. So at 1 + 1 here does not equal 2. On the other side of the ring, 1 + 1, I'm not sure. He knows better than I do. I can see a clash of egos. You can literally see the passing of the baton from Okada to Takeshita.
Reluctantly, maybe.
And I'm going to say this. I don't think it's a real pass. I think it's a tug of war.
Maybe a little fumble pass.
Yes,
we'll
like
have
my
to
words.
see what happens. Well, that match is happening tonight. The AEW World Tag Team Championships on the line. And it is a huge night for the Don Callis family. Plenty of gold on the line. Maybe you guys be walking out of here with a lot more around your shoulders.
They've never won tag team gold, though.
They sure have not. But let's talk about this. Kyle Fletcher is putting his TNT Championship on the line against Mark Briscoe. Each have 2 wins. Is the 5th time the charm? We find out what happens with these two tonight with the TNT Championship on the line.
Seen it in your eyes, Kyle. I seen the fear.
Standoff here between Briscoe and Fletcher.
We ain't no strangers. What is it now? 2 wins for me, 2 wins for you.
Every single match that they've competed against each other has been fantastic. Just all out, incredible wrestling.
The battles that we've had here made me more determined to do what I set out to do when I got here in the first place. That's put gold around my waist.
There's nothing like the momentum of Kyle Fletcher.
I'm going to prove to you why I have no ceiling, why I'm the future of this entire business.
Briscoe, he's got 0 class. Doesn't deserve to hold the championship.
I've been here damn near 3 years now. But it's a time for everything. At Wrestle Dream, it's high time that I take that TNT title and put it around my waist.
We all know on any given day, I have Mark Briscoe's number.
About to drag you out into deep waters, boy. Better hope you don't drown.
Just want to give a reminder to everybody, because we've been sort of in our own world up here as we're breaking down all of the action ahead of Wrestle Dream. But happening right behind us is a Wrestle Dream tailgate brawl. We've got action in the ring behind us. So if it's a little loud, if it's a little noisy, if our lights happen to go out on us.
It's a wild night up here. Storms going on outside and inside.
There's a lot of action. Lance Archer is still here with us to break down more action happening with the Don Callis family. Kyle Fletcher putting his TNT Championship on the line against Mark Briscoe. The ascent of Kyle Fletcher has been truly remarkable to sit back and watch from the second he started here in AEW to the man that he has really become in front of our eyes. What has it been like for you having a front row seat to that?
It's been cool seeing Kyle Fletcher grow and grow and grow, because I fought him a few times in Japan when he was with his tag team with Mark Davis. It's one of those things where you see somebody and where they start, and you start to see them get better and better and better and better, and start taking championship after championship after championship. And you have to be proud, because you've seen where they've come from and where they're going.
Yeah.
And for me, it's been cool to watch.
I think it's been cool for all of us to watch. It's obviously been great for Don Callis. That seems to be his prize pony for the Don Callis family right now. But Mark Briscoe, he's got to be probably the most beloved man signed to this company. Listen, you may have your opinions. I will turn this way to RJ as I talk about this, but we love Mark Briscoe.
I don't disagree, but sometimes you love a loser. He's lost a lot of key matches. We can all keep pulling for the underdog, but at some point...
He does have 2 wins over Kyle Fletcher, though.
Yeah,
that
but
counts.
Not really when it matters right now. He's never won AEW Gold. and he's got to put it together. He's been here long enough. He's had a lot of great opportunities. He needs to seize it. Lance, you've had some battles with Mark Briscoe. What do you think he's got to do to get it together tonight?
If there's a lovable loser, then that's me for sure, because, he's actually beat me a couple times, and eventually I will put him down for the 3 count. But for tonight, like you said, he's got to step it up. He's going against Kyle Fletcher, like we've already talked about, is ascending beyond anybody's belief. So Mark Briscoe has to pull out some things that he's never even thought of doing in his wrestling career if he wants to become AEW champion.
Jeff, since we're up here with a pair of haters,
yes,
can you talk to me about how lovable and how incredible Mark Briscoe is?
You know what? In any wrestler's career, it isn't only the matches that make it. A lot of times it's the moments. When I look at both the guys, I'm going to talk about Fletcher first.
Right.
The moment that I'll say he just betrayed Will Ospreay, it's like his career has gone straight up from there. There was something that clicked in him. For Briscoe, we have to admit, I am really ashamed of you calling him a lovable loser. He held the ROH title for over 200 days. He had a lot of momentum. And if you talk about being a world champion,
that you have the stats up here, Jeff.
Yeah, and if you're that successful, you can't call anybody loser. Now in the AEW soul win a championship, it's going to come. Tonight, that might be the night.
I will say this. When I spoke to Kyle Fletcher and made the announcement 2 weeks ago on Dynamite saying, hey, buddy, your championship is going to be on the line against Mark Briscoe, he looked none too pleased to be told this information. He did not seem excited to be able to get in the ring with Mark and tangle it up. So maybe he's feeling a little threatened. He is aware that Mark has 2 wins up on him. Of course, Kyle also has 2 up over Mark Briscoe, but we will find out.
It's getting loud in here, lady.
It's really loud. It's really, really loud. What?
It's uncouth, I said. It's very uncouth. Not gentleman.
Can you hear me now?
Like Lance.
I felt that my flammable dress almost just went up. Woo! Hello.
You're right.
No, I'm not. What else is happening in the Don Callis family? Because you guys, like I said, you guys are continually growing, adding new members.
Right.
Is there anyone you don't like in the Don Callis family?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Is there anyone you don't like in the Don Callis family?
Oh yeah. No. You're not going to start that, Renee. You're not going to put that little wedge in there and try to separate the Don Callis family.
I've got family
You're not going to
members I
divide
don't
and
care
conquer
for.
because we love each other. If you saw the birthday party we were having for Don, we're having a good time. I had a big bottle of whiskey. Everybody had a little bit of wine. We're celebrating Don, his birthday, and what's coming next for the Don Callis family. And it's just going to keep growing. It's going to keep getting bigger and better. And there is going to be 0 division.
Except for that little technical glitch with Okada.
No. He's learning the American remote control. That's all.
Oh, they're
That's all.
different.
That's all.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
All right.
It was in English.
Okay.
Makes sense to me.
Okay, can we get predictions for who's going to be walking out with this TNT championship? Is there a point in me asking you?
It's so loud in here, I can't hear a word you
All
just
right.
said.
He said Kyle Fletcher.
That's a
what he
good
said
thing.
was
That's
Kyle
a good thing.
Fletcher. All right, let's talk about how we're able to watch this pay-per-view tonight.
Hey, question.
Tell us,
you are in
RJ.
the United States, Jeffrey. You can watch Wrestle Dream on HBO Max, Prime Video, YouTube, ppv.com, and in-demand through traditional cable satellite providers.
Yes, and if you guys are watching internationally on youtube.com, ppv.com, and of course on Prime. The demand has incredible momentum going into this match tonight. Is it enough to take out one of the most effective factions of all time in the Hurt Syndicate? We find out tonight.
The end of this war, MVP, that you started, you 3 will respect us.
Ricochet, the spirit gun!
Got him.
Maybe I'm not quite the wrestler that I used to be. But one thing I know I can do better than all 3 of you is fight!
Ricochet surrounded by the Hurt Syndicate.
Congratulations, MVP. It took the 3 of you to put down little old Ricochet. Are you afraid of my guys?
Y'all are in the business of hurting people, and you must have forgot that we like to be hurt. These 2 teams have an intense rivalry.
Ricochet came in behind the referee's back. Oh, MVP just wiped out Ricochet, but the damage may be done.
We did something that has never been done.
A first ever pinfall on Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley.
Did we silence the critics? And singles were split, and tag were split, and 6-man were split. Saturday, our pride is at stake.
A tornado trios match.
It's going to be another violent encounter.
After Wrestle Dreams,
You get put.
As annoying as I can find the Demand, specifically Ricochet, to be, what you don't find them it's a grating.
He has turned his whole life around in AEW. He
I'm
tried to be
thrilled
the same
for
guy he
him.
always was. It wasn't working. He grabbed a pair of scissors. He grabbed Toa. He grabbed Khan. And now he's grabbing some success.
And what I wanted to say is you're right. He is grabbing some success. These guys are on fire. It has been an absolute thrill to watch them. Our Ricochet is still grading, but success is working for them. Bishop Khan pinned Shelton Benjamin on Wednesday. This is the first time that anyone in the Hurt Syndicate has been pinned since they've been here in AEW. This is massive. Do you think that this has shaken any one of those members to their core coming into this match?
Without a question. You talk about the changing of the guard. We talked about Takeshita and Okada. Well, I think we're looking before our very eyes. The Hurt Syndicate came in about a year ago, right, RJ? And they were rolling and rolling and rolling until these three gentlemen. The Demand came together. We got a tornado match tonight. They've lost in singles. They've lost in tags. They've lost in trios. I think the Demand gets their hand raised again.
I just got some breaking news. It was just announced on the Wrestle Dream Tailgate Brawl that the winner of the Demand versus the Hurt Syndicate will get a shot at those trios championships with the Ops.
That's nice.
So
Ridiculous.
even more on the line for a future shot.
This is you can't have a tornado match be essentially a number one contenders for trios.
Yes, you can.
Why
This
not?
is ridiculous.
Why?
I'm going to complain to the board, quite frankly. I do want to say this. I did not think MVP would be competing with such regularity here.
I love
He
it.
wanted to be a talker. He wanted to be a thinker. He wanted to move the chess pieces. And now he is embroiled in this big feud with the Demand. And that tells me he is just as bothered by Ricochet as you are.
Jeff, gentleman to gentleman between you and MVP. I'm not the gentleman, I meant you and MVP. Do you love seeing him be able to compete at this level right now?
In AEW, nobody does pay-per-view better. And when you walk through the doors of AEW, you better be ready to lace them up. I don't think he had that on his bingo card, as we say, but he has it now. And tonight, I'm looking forward to it. He may be the sleeper in the match.
The other thing that we got to see this past week on Dynamite was Toa is an absolute beast, a monster of a man. I heard Bryan Danielson say on commentary that he bench presses 645 pounds.
Whoa.
That's insane. That's insane.
Yeah.
To imagine the strength of this man and to see a man manhandle Bobby Lashley the way that he has, I've never seen it.
No, but I will say Bobby Lashley has a very deep bag. He relies on his power and strength, but when push comes to shove, he's a very fast man. He is a very agile man, and he is a very smart man, and he's going to have to use the other tools tonight because I don't see how he's going to be matching power with Khan and Toa.
Is this going to be the changing of the guard? Is that what we're getting to? The Demand, the Hurt Syndicate? Are we seeing the changing of the guard?
It's something of that ilk, certainly. I don't know if that's exactly what we're going to see tonight, but I mean, we saw the street fight that these guys did to each other. They already have beaten the crap out of each other, left each other lying. But the fact that we saw Bishop Khan pin Shelton Benjamin in the middle of the ring on Dynamite, I think was very telling to what the future is going to look like for the Demand. And again, they've kind of just got cooking together. Like imagine in a year, in 2 years, what these guys are going to look like with that power, the strength, and then they get a little bit more repetition under their belt. They're going to be unstoppable.
You know, Ricochet's athletic ability, I've seen him for a lot of years. He's come up through the ranks. He's traveled all over the globe. He's really, in essence, paid his dues. But coming here, like you said, I think he, from a charisma, from a persona, it's coming to his own and teaming with the guys. They're just gelling. They're clicking on all cylinders, as we say back home.
And if we can look ahead to the future, do we have a potential Hurt Syndicate versus the Ops? Or a Demand versus the Ops? And will the Ops include a new AEW World Champion in Samoa Joe? No matter which direction you take, this is going to get nuts.
It's happening here tonight at Wrestle Dream. RJ, I know this is your favorite part of doing these shows.
Ave Maria?
Can you tell people how to watch a pay-per-view?
I'm sorry.
Let's do
Wrong
it.
show. If you're in the United States, you can watch on HBO Max, Prime Video, YouTube.com. PPV.com. In-demand through traditional cable and satellite providers. And what else, Renee?
If you guys are watching internationally, youtube.com, ppv.com, as well as Prime, there's a QR code up on the screen right now, right there.
Weather girl.
Scan that guy. Come and join us. Yeah, you can be the pointer. Vanna White me, Jeff. Come on.
I got it.
So scan that QR code. Join us. You guys don't want to miss any of this pay-per-view. Another thing that is happening tonight. The Young Bucks. Can these men line their pockets? Yet again, they've been down on their luck. We put a $500,000 incentive in it. Can they take out Jurassic Express?
That is not dead, which can eternal lie.
Jungle Boy Jack Perry, Luchasaurus, Jurassic Express.
The things we love most can be lost.
Nick Jackson grabbed that bag of cash, $500,000 for Matt and Nick Jackson. You lost everything?
Can we choose to be better?
Oh, wait a second! The last time we saw him, he was aligned with Matt and Nick Jackson, but now
To rebuild.
it's Luchasaurus! What a moment! What a reunion!
It can all change in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, I need a money match. I'm desperate, okay?
We can be swept so far away from who we ever thought we would become.
In the professional wrestling business, we call this a callback. Down goes Jack Perry.
Can we hear the call once more?
$500,000 on the line. Jurassic Express, the Young Bucks, Wrestle Dream.
To ride again.
The Young Bucks certainly need to get paid. They've been begging for these money matches, banging down the door of Tony Khan. I mean, it was only a few weeks ago that, they gave me $10,000 just for being there.
Yeah.
These guys are not wise with their money. I invested the $10K, but
No. They've been more than generous with their time and their talent and their money, and this company needs to pay them back in return. I think that's the right thing to do.
what do you think, Jeff? Do we owe the Bucks all of this money? It's a lot of money. $500,000. That's generous.
Nick Jackson has a strong desire to play blackjack, and so when you are incentivized to play blackjack, you don't leave anything on the table. I know one thing: when the Bucks get into a tag match, it is a showstopper, a scene stealer. They do things inside the ring. They are the most successful tag team in AEW history. I'm looking forward to the match. Most importantly, when the stakes are on the line, $500K, Matt's going to pull something out tonight as well.
Well, let's talk about Jurassic Express, the return of Jungle Jack Perry paired up with Luchasaurus. We heard from Jack Perry saying he loves the Young Bucks, but they were not there for him when he needed them. I mean, this is kind of where a lot of this has come from. He's not felt supported by the Bucks. He needed some more people to be in his corner when he was down and out, not really here in AEW.
All right. It's okay. Look, Jack has always been a very moody guy. He's been a very emotionally complex guy. He's had a lot of on-again, off-again relationships, including with Luchasaurus.
Wow.
Okay? So now he's back together again with the friend he turned on in the friend. Doesn't make any sense, does it? And what is he going to do with $500,000? He's going to go to the woods in Hollywood again and go whittle some knives?
First of all, he's in the woods of Malibu. So yeah, that money, you could probably use it for what it's worth.
I think the Young Bucks are in a very J.G. Wentworth situation right now, and I am pulling for them for a multitude of reasons.
J.G. Wentworth.
Can you elaborate on that?
I have a structured settlement, and I need cash now.
Good Lord.
Familiar with the...
We're having fun now.
Why do you think the Young Bucks are the best tag team here in AEW?
You know, all kidding aside, we're having fun up here. The guy's got a gambling addict. He's an addict, no doubt about it. I've known that for years. That's the truth. But I will say this, all kidding aside. Renee, you asked, why do I think they're the best tag team?
Yeah.
You're laughing at me, but I'm being dead serious. They're true brothers, obviously.
Yeah.
Their chemistry is unbelievable. Their timing, their athleticism, but more importantly, their desire to win. I knew them when they first broke into the business. I knew it then, and you could see it on their face. They wanted to be the best. They've proven they're the best time and time again. They'll do it again tonight.
To the point of Jurassic Express, though, your own opinions aside, to be fresh and invigorated, stepping back into the ring, that's got to account for something tonight.
I don't think they're fresh and invigorated. You know, Luchasaurus previously also broke up with Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian. I think they need to find their footing. You can't go home again. You can't just grasp at this nostalgia. The Bucks have been here the whole time. They've been evolving the whole time. And you know what? I'm going to give them $20 out of my pocket tonight.
All right, moving on, guys. Samoa Joe was one of the men that helped Hangman Adam Page dethrone Jon Moxley for that AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Will Samoa Joe be the man leaving St. Louis tonight with that gold over his shoulder?
Without you guys, I would have never been able to win this world championship.
AEW World Trios Champions having the back of Hangman Adam Page.
Some people say that's just a misunderstanding. I have never been as confused as I was when you lost your composure with me.
You never beat me.
That's what this is about. The world championship. Samoa Joe is angry.
Never been angry.
Embarrassed. And now looking for a place to direct his anger. I gave him this opportunity because I owe it to him. You have been distracted from what's important.
Everything this man has said is absolutely true. I was so bloodlusted with going after the Death Riders, I forgot that the prime target is the man that calls himself a champion.
Are you a fighting champion, or are you just an opportunistic one?
You have never been greater than me.
The proof of who I am does not stand in your opinion of me. It stands when the bell rings.
I am promising you what I'm going to do.
At Wrestle Dream, Samoa Joe.
I am going to beat, break, and torture you.
I hope you know that
I'm going to choke you unconscious.
am the champion
and take your belts
of the world.
Powerhouse Hobbs here joining us to help break down this match for the AEW World Championship. But while I have you here, it was just announced that whoever wins between the Demand and the Hurt Syndicate will challenge for your trios titles at some future date. Thoughts on that?
You know, we already defeated the Demand on 2 occasions. I think everyone wants to see the Ops versus the Hurt Syndicate, but it doesn't really matter because we're going to keep our titles.
All right, let's shift our focus to the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Samoa Joe versus Hangman Adam Page. I've said it all night that Joe was one of the guys that helped Hangman win that coveted title. Your time working alongside Samoa Joe, what are things you've been able to learn from such a legend in this business like Joe?
I learned that Joe's very dangerous. Since I've joined the Ops back in April, I've become more dangerous. And I don't think Hangman is ready for this tonight.
Jeff, you have a very close relationship with Hangman. We were able to see that. If you've not been able to check out the Hangman documentary, The Good, The Bad, The Hangman, that's available on youtube.com/AEW. Go ahead and check that one out. There's a really great moment between you and Hangman to go back and look at the relationship between you guys. Do you think that Hangman is perhaps too happy heading into this match? Are things working out too good for him right now?
God, Renee, you always hit you hit the questions in the fields, and I mean that.
Right,
you know, that doc says a lot about the human being. But tonight, we're not really talking about the human being. We're talking about the champion. And Hangman is a guy, you know, he started on this championship run, in my opinion, when he won the Owen. He started that momentum, and it has built, and it built, and it built. And down in the Metroplex, when he got his hand raised after that brutal match, I got emotional. The crowd got emotional. The AEW fan base knew in a lot of ways that belt was back home. But I said it that night, and I walked up to him the next time I saw him the following day, and I said, Hanger, we've been through a lot together in our short history. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. The hard work starts right now. Tonight, he is facing Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe reminded me, and I said this a little while ago, in 1983, Harley Race was a 6-time World Heavyweight Champion. Kiel Auditorium right down the street. He was going to be taking on the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Harley beat Flair for his 7th championship. The grizzled vet, just like Samoa Joe is tonight. The position that Joe's in my opinion, everything is favored for Joe. He has nothing to lose. He's the current trios champion. I'm sorry I'm getting long-winded, but this match means so much to Hangman's career because it is truly his first big pay-per-view battle that he's going to be stepping out. Hangman, dude, lace him up tight. the whole world is pulling for you.
We just got to see a little bit of footage of Hangman making his way into the arena tonight ahead of his bout with Samoa Joe. We can see he's always pretty calm, cool, collected heading into big moment matches like this. But Hobbs, what about Joe? What is Joe's mindset today? How's he been in the locker room? How does he get before big matches like this?
You know, I've known Samoa Joe for a while, and Joe is... It's kind of awkward because Joe has been quiet. And we all know that the quiet ones are the most dangerous ones. So, you know, I'm thinking Hangman has kind of forgot that without the ops, he wouldn't be world champion.
I don't think there's any other professional wrestler like Samoa Joe that I can see flip that switch and become such a terrifying killer. He's a monster. When he locks in,
yes,
he's Samoa Joe. He is the legendary Samoa Joe. Let me talk to you about Hangman, because I can get Jeff's POV. I know where he stands on it. They've got a personal friendship between the two of them. Do you
Me and Hangman are not friends.
Do you think that Hangman has what it takes to get it done by himself tonight against somebody like Joe, who said to him point blank in his face, "You are not ever going to be greater than me"?
I don't think, with all due respect to Hangman, I don't think he quite knows what he's getting into. And Hobbs, I have to throw it back to you. You teamed with Hobbs and with Hangman and Joe when this all popped off. Is this really about the title, or is this something more?
It's a little bit more, but we'll find out tonight.
Okay. Do you have a prediction? I can't ask you your prediction. Obviously, you got to say
I think
Joe.
the world knows what I'm predicting,
Of course.
and I
Jeff?
You know, and I'm going to be quick on this. I walked up backstage like I do and tried to talk to as many people as I possibly can. I walked up to the group of referees and I said, "Hey, which one of you guys have the title match?" And they all just didn't answer and walked away. Woo. It told me the stakes are at a fever pitch. I'm going with Hangman.
Robert John.
Last time we had a pay-per-view in this building, Samoa Joe lost the title, and I think he reverses his fortune tonight.
All right, we will find out. Just a reminder again, as the time is ticking down, just over 5 minutes left before we are live on pay-per-view. All of these matches we've been breaking down tonight. How can we watch?
What is this? I've never done it before. If you're in the United States, you can watch Wrestle Dream on HBO Max, Prime Video, YouTube, ppv.com, and in-demand through traditional cable satellite providers.
Yes, and if you guys are watching internationally, youtube.com, ppv.com, and on Prime. A little reminder before we let you guys go, this is the action ahead of us tonight as we get set here. Wrestle Dream live in St. Louis, Missouri. The AEW Men's World Championship is going to be on the line. As we've said, Samoa Joe is the man that helped Hangman secure that title. Will Joe be leaving St. Louis with the gold?
And then for the AEW Women's World Championship, this has gotten hot and heavy, and we will have a winner tonight. Will it be Big Stat Daddy or Timeless Toni Storm?
We've got the AEW World Tag Titles. They will be defended tonight. Bandido versus the interesting pairing of Kazuchika Okada and Konosuke Takeshita.
And these women are absolutely going to rip their hair out, their heads out, their hearts out. Everybody is banned from ringside as the toxic spider Thekla takes on Jamie Hayter.
As announced just a little bit earlier tonight on the Wrestle Dream Tailgate Brawl, the winner of this Tornado Trios match will earn a future title shot at the Ops in those AEW Trios Championships.
And Mercedes Moné made a Mexican challenge. It's a title for title open challenge. Any champion in the world, they get the TBS title. But if she wins, she breaks the ultimate record.
$500,000 is up for grabs. Will it be the Young Bucks? Can they turn their luck around against the fresh legs and minds of Jurassic Express?
And then for the TNT Championship, Kyle Fletcher versus Mark Briscoe 5. Can Mark topple the Protostar?
In a match that will not be viewed in my household, two of the most defiant men in AEW push each other to their limits in an I Quit match. That is all about to go down here. We have been setting the stage all night here in St. Louis. Jeff, you were speaking before about the rich history of professional wrestling here in St. Louis. Tonight, we can mark a new one.
No doubt about it. You know, when I go back in time and think of my very earliest childhood memories, my father would tell me the NWA was centered around here, the title and all that kind of stuff. Tonight, history's going to be made. I want to know, where are you going to watch the I Quit match at?
I'm not. But that is all happening, guys. Enjoy Wrestle Dream. It is all happening right now, live on pay-per-view. You don't want to miss any of this tonight. It's all about Wrestle Dream.
The tipping point has been reached. For those who have walked this hard road, a gateway appears to vindication.
The seatbelt. 1, 2, 3!
And I'm not finished with you! I need to know 1-on-1!
I've been waiting for this match for a very long time. As hard as you fought for this, I will fight even harder.
To win for me, to win for you. High time that I take that TNT title and put it around my waist.
And a gateway to an ultimate end.
Weaponizing resilience.
I Quit match!
Daring the world to kill you. Just trying to prove that you are indestructible in mind, body, and spirit. You know how that game goes. And it never ends well. I Quit match. That is the game. Trust me, Darby. I'm better at it than you.
A gateway to opportunity.
Jurassic Express versus the Young Bucks.
We're gonna roll into Wrestle Dream and win the AEW Tag Team titles.
It's about this World Championship, the championship you once held.
When I look at you, I don't see the pinnacle of professional wrestling.